Hi everyone, it's Pattie Gonia. Today I'm breaking my silence about the lawsuit that the multi-billion-dollar corporation Patagonia has filed against me, a drag queen and climate activist, for trademark infringement. Patagonia told the media they're only suing me for $1. What they're actually trying to do is to take away my name permanently and threaten me with more than $1 million in legal fees. This is not a brand conflict. This is a corporation trying to erase an activist. And this is how corporations bully individuals who cannot match their resources. Because this would take away not only my activism and my career, but also the livelihoods of the team I employ. This is a betrayal of Patagonia's core mission, because if they're in business to save the home planet, why are they suing a climate activist? Over the last 4 months since the lawsuit was filed, I've stayed silent, courteous, and worked every channel I could to resolve this without going to court. But in the end, I had two choices: the erasure of my name, my advocacy, my community, and everyone I employ, or to fight for myself and to fight for us. So I am fighting, and I'm inviting you to join me in a simple call to action. Patagonia, drop the lawsuit. And I want to tell you how this story started, because it didn't start with a lawsuit. It started in 2018 when I put on a pair of high heels on a backpacking trip and created my drag persona, Pattie Gonia, named after a region in South America called Patagonia, a name that predates both me and the clothing brand by 500 years. And since 2018, I've built a community of more than 3 million people, a nonprofit teaching allyship in the outdoors, hired more than 600 artists and advocates, toured drag shows nationwide about climate solutions, and together we've raised more than $3.7 million for nonprofits. So here's the part that made my jaw hit the floor. Patagonia, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, went to federal court in January to say that I am causing irreparable harm to their brand by doing, and I quote, motivational speaking services in support of environmental sustainability and organizing, arranging, and conducting trail and hiking events. Let's talk about that irreparable harm, because there's 3 things you need to know. First, the claims of trademark infringement. I have never used their logo, font, or anything from their brand on our merch website. Instead, the lawsuit cherry picks a few examples of playful parody and fan art and tries to spin those into some kind of vast use of their logo. Drag is built on parody, puns, and jokes, but I'm willing to never parody their logo ever again, aka never give them free PR ever again. 2, let's talk about the agreement or the understanding that people are saying I broke. There was no agreement. In 2022, when I was collaborating with a third party, Patagonia asked me to follow certain terms, and I did. That wasn't a broad agreement about my future. And 3, my trademark application. I filed my trademark application not to compete with a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but because of what happened to a drag queen named Lexi Love, whose name was taken from her by a third party after RuPaul's Drag Race. Within weeks, her bookings were canceled, music pulled, social media gone. I filed to make sure that that never happened to me, not because of Patagonia, because of anyone. And now let's talk timing. Isn't it interesting that Patagonia chose this exact moment in the height of anti-LGBTQ politics and attacks on the environment to sue me? They've known about me for 8 years, and the impact of this timing right now is serious and it's real. And I think they looked at this political moment and thought they could pull this off without pushback. But if Patagonia wants to celebrate Pride Month this year by taking a queer climate activist to federal court, then I am here to fight for myself, and I am here to fight for us. So Patagonia leadership, I want to speak directly to you. In 2022, your founder, Yvon Chouinard, gave the company away to the planet to fight the climate crisis, transferring control into what's called a purpose trust. So I want to ask the people currently running the company a genuine question. Is this what he had in mind? Is spending the resources of that trust on lawyers and federal court filings to erase a climate activist saving the home planet? Is this what he and his children, who now sit in leadership positions on the board and the Purpose Trust, believe they built? And you know, Yvon Chouinard said something that I think his current leadership needs to hear loud and clear right now, and I quote, "You are what you do, not what you say you are." That's not my quote. That's his. And if this lawsuit is what saving the planet looks like to Patagonia's current leadership, then one of us has profoundly misunderstood the assignment, and it is not me. And to my community, here's what I need from you right now. 1, join me in telling Patagonia, drop the lawsuit. Make your voice heard everywhere Patagonia is. And let me be very clear, do so in a classy, respectful, and peaceful way. 2, do not take this out on Patagonia store employees. They didn't choose this. It's squarely on the shoulders of their corporate leaders who have failed their employees and their company's core values. And in fact, to every Patagonia employee watching this, you've built something that people believed in. I hope you will use your voice inside your organization right now. And 3, this is just part 1 to the story. What I have not told you yet is far bigger than what I have, so stay tuned. So to close this out, I want to go a bit off script because I want to admit something I probably shouldn't say. I'm afraid and I'm frustrated. This is so much wasted time and money that could be spent fighting for the planet, and instead, Patagonia is taking me to court when I've offered them everything I could to avoid this. They chose this, not me. And while I don't know what will happen from here, I do know that they have more money and more lawyers, and they will use their full force, especially after this video. Pattie Gonia is one of the first things in my life that I am genuinely, deeply proud of. And the idea that this could all be taken away from me is my worst case scenario. Because if you've ever created something that mattered to you, a name, a community, a version of yourself that finally felt real, then I think you know what that fear feels like. My name is Pattie Gonia. I chose it, I've built it, I've earned it, and I am not going anywhere. Patagonia, drop the lawsuit.